Hello, everybody. So the Hangout is on the air. It says we're live. I went ahead and went live a minute early here. We're playing with an echo problem. So I don't know what to say about that, Bill. It still seems to be coming from you, because when you go away, I don't hear any echo at all right now. Let me bring it. Who else would like to come over today, just for giggles? Craig, you want to come over, or Shirley? Just let me know in the chat, let's just play with this for a minute to see if the echo comes back. If anyone else comes over, Craig, are you available to come over? I'm going to click on you if you don't want to come over, or Rick, if you don't want to come over, and I'm going to leave you out, Bill, for just a moment, okay? So there I'm going to click on Craig and see if when he pops over, what happens. So once again, everybody, we're playing with a sound problem. And tell me in the chat if everybody can, if you in the chat, if you can hear me, no problem. It sounds good. And I'm waiting for Craig to get over here. He's on his way through cyberspace. And there's Chris. Hang on, Chris. There's Craig. Hello, Craig.
Hello.
Okay, that's clean. Absolutely clean. It sounds good. So again, I don't know what to say, Bill. It just still seems to be coming from your end. I don't know what's causing it, obviously. Alrighty. And Rick says, all right. All right. You know, let me just go ahead and get started here. Anyone who wants to come over and play on this side is welcome to. We were playing with an echo problem there, and we can try again, Bill. I'm not, one way or the other. If no one else is hearing it, I'm the only one hearing it. Right now, let me just keep you on that side for the time being, and let me get started. And then if you want to come back over, we will. Anyone else wants to come over, let me know in the chat, and we can talk. What I intended to do today is I'm going to go through module 11 of the 3-Minute Expert, and also one of the extra modules that's in the course. And anyone who wants to come on over and interact live is welcome to. One of the things that I would like to know from you folks is, as we go through this content creation, all I have is my notes in front of me right now. Would you folks be interested in me putting together a webinar with slides and etc. on this content? So here we go. This is Ray Higdon's module 11, content creation. And Ray starts off the module by talking about fine-tuning the ILT process. And I think we've all heard of ILT, invest, learn, teach, but in case there's somebody who hasn't, that's what it means, invest, learn, teach. Typically, most people who are serious invest in themselves. They take courses, they take coaching, they go to events. So they get the I plus L part okay. They're investing in themselves and they're learning. So Ray says that he's never met anyone who hit 6 figures or more who didn't also invest in coaching. And most people take notes. And he has a ceiling of about $250,000. He says that he doesn't know anybody who makes more than $250,000 a year who hasn't had a coach, a mentor, etc. So that, in his mind, is sort of a threshold. Below $100,000 a year, he's known a couple of people that have gotten away without coaching. So he's making a push for having a coach, having a mentor, and I agree. And from my own personal experience, I can't argue with that. But the big issue here is that a lot of people go to, they attend webinars, They buy courses, they go to events, they take notes. From Ray's viewpoint, there are two kinds of notes that he takes when he's at an event. It's what will I implement and what will I teach? I'll say that again. What will I implement and what will I teach? And sometimes they're the same thing. Sometimes he's taking notes about something that he is going to implement because he hasn't already done it. And he is also going to teach it. And is Shirley having trouble getting on? I'm just watching the chat. But he made the comment that many people sit in these events and they write down everything, and that's just fine if that's what they want to do. But he's sort of a little bit more discerning about the kinds of notes he takes. He also talked about overwhelm, and his definition of overwhelm in Module 11 was overwhelm is a form of procrastination. Overwhelm is you know you have things to do, but you're not doing it. Interesting definition. He also talked about people modifying the ILT formula. In his mind, invest, learn, teach is not the same as invest, do, teach. And this was sort of an eye-opening attitude. His comment was, you don't have to do something to teach it. And this is related to the idea that many people think they're not good enough. They're not ready to go out and teach. They're not ready to do videos. They're not ready to do webinars. And once again, he reiterated the comment that he was in foreclosure, broke, and had failed at several companies when he started his blog. And he had he waited for results, he may have never gotten any because he would have never gotten started, which is an interesting observation. So he was potting home the idea that you don't have to have results to get started. And once again, the idea that all these notes, when you go to an event, you go to a webinar, you take 2 or 3 pages of notes, or maybe you're in an event and you take several pages of notes, and you take your notes home and you throw them on the shelf with all of your other notes. Those are like coming home from the event, going to the mailbox, finding a bunch of checks in the mailbox, taking them in your house and throwing them on the shelf and forgetting about them. You never cash them. They're uncashed checks. Content equals value, value equals money. And content is highly leveraged. So the message over and over again he was potting home was just get out there and do it. If you're going to play the game, you've got to be a content creator. And that means, in his opinion, later on he talked again about video. In his opinion, the most highly leveraged content is video. And he went back through the 4 major pieces of any good video, and he qualified that comment with, he's talking about just content videos. You know, you're on a webinar right now, you're listening to me, go make a video about it. The video should be 3 minutes long. He said 3 to 4 in this module, but 3 minutes. And there are 4 major parts to the video. One is, again, reiterating something we said the other day, but the first major part is the introduction. Hi, I'm Susie Q. I'm coming to you from my house in Alabama. 2, the second major part, question. Do you struggle with knowing where to get content? 3, the content itself of your video. Let me give you 3 places where you can go to get content for your blog post, and then give it to them. And 4, the call to action. Now, if you want further information, click on the link below the video, go to my blog. And he reiterated again, well, what if you don't have a blog? Then the call to action can be, well, send me an email. Go to my Facebook page, leave me a message, give me a phone call. But you always want to have a strong call to action. So then we started down a list of where to find content and where to get ideas. First place to find content, I'm going to pick up my camera and show you the mess of my house. The first place to find content is right there. You see all the books sitting there? Well, that's just one little small pile of books. I have a bookcase in the other room. So the first place to find content is existing books. If you're in business seriously, whether it's in network marketing or in real estate or in health and wellness or anything, you've probably got some books at home. And you'll find that I will frequently do that. Some days, for example, if I'm going to go make my coffee with Len video, and I don't know what I'm going to talk about today, I will walk over and I can close my eyes, grab any book off that pile, with my eyes closed, open the book to a page, and find a piece of content to talk about. So it's finding content from that viewpoint is very easy. The next on his list was coaching calls. And they go both ways. If you have a coach or a mentor and you're on the phone with your coach and your coach is giving you information, telling you what to do, that's content. You can create a blog post about it. You can create a video about it. It also goes the other way. If you are coaching somebody, if you have a coaching client and they ask you a question, that is material for content. And it's very powerful because, for example, I do have a couple of coaching clients. And the other night, one of my coaching clients asked me to review his video on Facebook. And I did a review and I gave him a few points about things that I thought he could do a little bit better. And I will tell you that one of the tips that I gave him was, that I gave this person, and no name, but one of the tips I gave him was a languaging tip. He was using, let me call it slang. And I thought that could be cleaned up and made a little bit nicer. Any rate, so here I have a coaching client, so I can make a video the next day or another day, a day later or 2 or 3 days later and say, hey, I was on the phone with one of my coaching clients the other night and he asked the following question. And so I gave him the following 3 tips for improving his video. Now I've done 2 things. Notice this is very subtle, but I've done 2 things. One is I've made a piece of content in which I've got 3 tips for how to improve your videos. The second is that I told you I have a coaching client, which means you now know that I'm available to coach you. So I put that out into the universe by creating a piece of content that starts with that comment. I'm putting out into the universe the idea that, hey, I'm available. You know, if you'd like to learn more, give me a call. Look me up on Facebook. Look me up on my blog, etc. So it has a double whammy. Of course, he talked about events, and I don't think there's anything more that really needs to be said in this venue about events. If you go to an event, you take a notebook. When you come home, you got lots and lots and lots of things to write about. And I'm going to throw in a personal comment here, just in case there's anybody out there thinking the same thing. When I first started to go to events, and somebody would stand up on stage, and I'm gonna mention Michelle and Bill Pescasolito, and the reason I am is because back in the beginning, they were one of my mentors, and they still are. In fact, Michelle and Bill are my sponsor in MLSP. But I didn't really understand this concept. When Michelle stood on stage and she gave a talk, I made notes. But I didn't think that I could go make a video about Michelle's notes, because my internal attitude was, well, Michelle already does that. I can't compete with Michelle. I'm going to just make her angry. And nothing could be further from the truth. Michelle couldn't care less. She's not paying attention to what I do. So, you know, if you have any fear at all that taking content from the big guys and regurgitating it in your own words to your audience, get over it. your audience is your audience. They're not talking to your audience. You're building your own audience. So feel free to grab the material. Don't plagiarize it. Ray makes that comment several times, and what I mean by that is don't take it word for word. If they write a blog post, don't go copy their blog post and just copy and paste it into your blog. There are two reasons not to do that. One, it's unethical, and two is Google notices that. Google will slap you. They know it's duplicate content. Those servers are awfully damn good. I started to upload a video. I'll give you an example. Last night, I started to upload a video to YouTube, and that video wasn't 10 seconds or 20 seconds into the upload when I got a message from YouTube telling me, hey, that's duplicate content. You already uploaded that video one time 6 months ago. And quite honestly, I had forgotten. I went and looked for it, and I couldn't find it, so I thought maybe I hadn't done it. But it was there, and their servers caught it. And I wasn't, like 20 seconds into the upload when their servers caught that this was a duplicate. And they just blocked it. They said, hey, that's duplicate content. So they're awfully good at that. Okay, webinars, obviously. Enough said about that. Events, webinars, podcasts are in the same arena. I mean, Ray has a podcast every day. Amazingly enough, he gets 7,000 to 9,000. Are you ready? Do you believe this? Between 7,000 and 9,000 downloads daily from Ray's podcast. So if you need ideas for content, jump on Ray's podcast. Articles. Go to magazines, find articles, and write your own version of the article. If you find an article that you like, you can write your own version of it and link back to the original article. So give them credit. Don't plagiarize it. Don't take it word for word, but write your own version of it and link back. And we're going to talk about where to find this stuff in just a minute. And Ray talked about libraries and bookstores. Walk into the local library. If you don't have books on your shelf, walk into the local library, walk into a bookstore, see what the best sellers are in your niche. If you're in health and wellness, go see what's selling in health and wellness today. If you're in real estate, go find the latest, greatest books on real estate, see what they're talking about, and then write about it. And finally, go get your, two things finally. Go get your past notes. So if you've been to a webinar in the last, or been to an event in the last year or two or three, and you've got notebooks laying on your shelf like I do, those notes may still be good. There may be lots of buried treasures in those notebooks that you can go dig out and write about. So those are some of the things. Do book reviews. If you're reading a book, a good book, like I've been reading, and I mentioned it in Coffee with Len recently a couple times, Gay Hendricks' book, The Big Leap. Do a review, do a book review. And Ray has had authors and publishers of books like that contact him and thank him for doing the review. So that's something you can do. Okay, sources of ideas. So where to get ideas? Are you ready for this one? The grocery store line. Interesting idea. Let's say that you're into health and wellness, or you're into women's fitness, or fitness, for example. If you're standing in the grocery store line, what do you see? Besides the candy, you see a magazine rack. And guess what's on that magazine rack? And interestingly enough, the magazines that are on the magazine rack at the front of the grocery store are the highest grossing magazines in the store. Those are the best sellers. Those are the ones that have the best copy. Those are the ones that people are paying attention to. And Ray had a whole series of pages of pictures from the front covers of magazines. And also Amazon, but this was pretty interesting. And I'm going to go do a screen share for just a moment here. Here goes the screen share. And I'm going to assume that you can see my screen, and tell me if you can't, or tell me if you can.
We can see it.
I'm not sorry. Women's health magazines. Just Google women's health magazines, and just here you go. So if you're into women's health, here's 3 annoying skin problems that are being caused by allergies. There's a headline that you can use to write an article. 13 times sex actually is the answer to your problem. Whew, that'd probably be a good blog post if you're into women's health. The 21-day bikini body plan. Now, once again, you don't want to plagiarize the article. You don't want to take word for word, but grab the headline ideas. If you need more ideas, I'm coming off the share for a minute. If you need more ideas for the content, then go ahead and buy the magazine, read the article, and then rewrite the article. Write it in your own words. And if it makes sense the way you've written it, go ahead and reference the original article as source. Link to it. Provide a link back to it, because that link back to it is a really good backlink that will give you credibility. You're linking back to a high authority source. So any field you're in, it doesn't matter what it is. If it's in network marketing, if it's in health and wellness, if it's in real estate, if it's in scuba diving, airplane flying, jogging, backpacking, hiking, camping, you name it, you can just go out there to Google and find magazines and etc. Or you can walk into your local bookstore and your local Barnes and Noble and look at the latest magazines, look at the latest books in the field. If you're into travel, I'm going to jump to travel blogs because Ray has a travel blog, by the way. You folks know that I'm in World Ventures. Ray has a travel blog, and he doesn't put up a new post every day, but he does post in his travel blog. So forums, just go on to Google, just like I just did, and Google forums, women's health forums, network marketing forums. Find out what the hot topics of discussion are in the forums, and write articles about them. So then also the gurus themselves. Ray Higdon. Go to Ray's Facebook page. See what people were writing about. See what the questions are. Go to the gurus' blogs. And by the way, interestingly enough, I don't know how many of you are in network marketing, but I'm going to come back on the screen share again just for a moment. I'm Googling top network marketing blogs. And there's the top 50 MLM blogs, the top 50 MLM blogs in 2013. Look who comes up, Ray Higdon's network marketing blog. So you can go into these blogs, the top MLM blogs, top 10, top 50. You can go into these blogs and just get tons of ideas for content. Let me come off the share. So there we go. I'm off the share. And also Guru's sales pages. If you were to link up to the sales pages of, for example, Ray's products or Justice's or any of our mentors or leaders, you can get lots of ideas for things to write about. And finally, ClickBank. So ClickBank sales pages have lots of interesting products out there that, again, you can get ideas for what's important, what people are buying, what people are writing about. So if you don't convert your notes, traveling right along and keeping going, let's see what. Okay. One other thing, coaching. If you are into coaching or are thinking about doing some coaching and you want to advertise your coaching program, his recommendation was to look up people like Tony Robbins and John Maxwell, for example, and look at their sales pages, look at their copy for how they're selling their programs. And once again, don't plagiarize it. Just get ideas from it and use the ideas. Reword it into your own words. Okay, traveling right along. If you don't convert your notes, just tear up those checks. He hit on that again. So the two main obstacles for teaching are all between your ears. Why me? I'm too new. I don't know anything. Who would want to listen to me? What do I have to talk about? I don't have anything to say. I don't know anything. And if in all the list of ideas we just ran down, if you don't have any ideas about where you can get material and what you can talk about, well, there's plenty of stuff out there. And so the only thing left is well, who would want to listen to me anyhow? Because I'm really new to this business. And once again, the person who will listen to you today is the person you were yesterday. The person you're a day ahead of, or 2 days ahead of, or 3 days ahead of. You have stuff to share with the marketplace. And if you can go through those kinds of sources of information, pull out ideas, and like if I were in women's health, I tell you, I would be jumping on some of those like women's health magazines. Just look at the headlines. And 21 days to lose your belly fat, 30 tips to getting bikini ready by summer. People love stuff like that. They just jump on it. And so there's plenty of places for you to go find material. And that's the message. So the message is, you just got to get out there and do it. You got to put yourself out there. You got to get in the ball game and play. And this is a quote, direct quote from Ray. If you think, why me? You are thinking selfishly. People don't care about you, at least at first. They start to care about you after you provide value. They care about themselves. If people come to your website, they don't come because they care about you. They come because they want to know what's in it for me, for them. And so if you're thinking, why not me? You're spending too much time worrying about you, your image, and yourself, and not enough time worrying about your potential customers, the people that you're trying to serve, and not giving them the benefit of your knowledge that you've already gained. So again, another big kick in the rear. Now, let's go on to video. Video ranks as the number one. This is, if you're in this game, you ought to be doing video, period. Full stop, no contest, no questions. But Ray left you off the hook. He said, well, but if you really are too scared to put your face on video, you don't want to share your beautiful face with the rest of the world. He made the comment that module 11 that we were looking at his face wasn't in it at all. It was all PowerPoint and screen share. He wasn't on video. And the other thing he talked about is the ladies. If one of your concerns is, well, I have to get up. I don't want to do a video every day. I have to get up. I have to wash my hair. I have to put on my makeup. I have to put on my clothes. I have to on and on. And his comment, and I'm going to tell you, I know. Look, don't anybody throw any. Please don't throw anything. No rotten eggs, no rotten tomatoes, please. I'm going to tell you that I went through a series of those concerns myself when I first started doing these Coffee with Len videos. Oh my God, I got to get up. I got to comb my hair. Get over it. Get over it. That's my advice. But if you really can't get over it, you really have to comb your hair and put on your makeup, then just pick a day that you're going to do videos and get up and get dressed and put on your makeup and comb your hair and do 6 videos or do 10 videos. Just do a whole bunch of videos at one time, and then program them out, sequence them out, and that's one hint, one way to do it. So, and I understand the issue of having to get up. Got to take your PJs off to go get in front of the camera. Actually, you never see me from the waist on. You have no idea what I'm wearing below my shirt. I'll just leave you to ponder that one. Okay. So shoot several videos at once. Okay. And again, he made the point that the videos allow you to build rapport over a long period of time, and they're very leveraged. They're highly leveraged. He still gets hits on videos that he made 5 years ago. So whereas emails and other forms of communication don't have that kind of lifetime, your posts on Facebook don't have that lifetime. The posts on Instagram go away in 10 minutes, and Facebook, they're gone in a half hour. And Twitter is gone in a half hour. So, but video is sticky. So he also did say that if you're going to do videos for a product launch, those don't fall in the formula of the four things. And if you want to do a product launch and you want to send him an email, ray@rayhigdon.com, they've got a product launch formula, and they will help you with your product launch. So I know it's 12 o'clock. I'm going to go just a little bit over here, finish up a few more things. Here's a quote from Steve Martin. Be so good they can't ignore you. Be so good they can't ignore you. Just put the content out there. Then, let me see. He went down through a series of specific niches like health and wellness, real estate, and I already basically did that. When I took you to Amazon or took you to Google a minute ago, and I showed you, I just Googled women's health magazines, and up pops all these magazines that you can just look at to get ideas. We go back to screen share for just a moment, and I'm going to hit you up with Amazon. Oops, Amazon.com. If I could type, I'd be okay. Amazon.com. I assume you can see the screen. I'm going to go to books. Give me a topic. Doesn't matter. Any topic you want. Real estate. Bingo. Here's the top books in real estate. So if you're into real estate, write a blog post. It's not about the money. It's about being the best you can be. The new rules in real estate. What every real estate investor needs to know about cash flow. 36 key financial, okay, you get the idea. You can go to Amazon